Mind if I sit? I don't mean to bother. Look, I'm not here for small talk. Just need a few minutes, maybe. About the zone. About what's out there. I've been walking these ruins for longer than I care to count. Seen things. Things the zone doesn't like anyone to see. Nothing out here comes for free. Not a step. Not an artifact. Not even a shadow. Something happened recently. Artifact gone. Stolen. And I had to go after it. Had no choice. Pay was too good. Enough to keep moving for another week. They said the zone had its own heartbeat. That night I felt it. I shouldn't have been out there. Not in the storm. Not alone. But the bad had been too good to ignore. A valuable artifact had been stolen by a gang of mercs. Hidden somewhere deep in the ruins near the old factory district. They had promised a small fortune if I retrieved it. I needed that kind of money. Not for glory, not for pride, just to keep moving, just to survive. The rain had fallen steady, cold, soaking through my jacket, slipping into my gloves. My boots squelched against the mud and broken concrete. I moved carefully, listening. Every puddle, every crack, every whisper of the wind was a warning. I remember the first time I had entered that part of the zone. The streets, it had been quiet, but the air itself felt very heavy, as if it remembered every footstep that I ever passed through. Rusted cars littered the streets. Faded graffiti stared at me like accusing eyes. The street light flickered weakly, struggling against the storm. My Geiger counter ticked softly. The sound had been almost comforting. It told me I was alive, that nothing had gone unnoticed. But it also whispered danger. I stepped lightly over a puddle, glowing faintly green in the lamplight. Not much radiation, just to remind me the zone's cruel. I had learned to trust the shadows. The shape in the corner might have been nothing, or it might have been a trap. Every abandoned doorway, every shadowed window, every leaning, everything, every concealed movement. I slowed my breath, letting my boots barely touch the ground, letting the storm's noise mask me. The artifact was valuable. That meant people were guarding it, not openly, not with gunfire, but with eyes and silence. I heard distant voices, muffled by the rain in the walls. Mercs patrolling. I stayed low, crouching behind a pile, rubble, listening. One of them laughed quietly. My stomach twisted. I hadn't been spotted. Not yet. The wind shifted, carrying the faint smell of smoke and wet metal. I moved quietly, methodically, each step a calculation. I passed the collapsed building. Its roof had fallen in. Puddles reflected the dim light. Something skittered across the wall. A rat. a stray animal, or something in the zone had wrapped into unnatural movement. My heart quickened. I forced it back down. I couldn't let fear take me. Not yet. This artifact is near. I felt it. Something about the zone changed subtly around it. The air had grown denser. Shadows had deepened. A faint humming. Not a sound exactly, more of a vibration in my chest. Like the zone itself was warning me to leave. But I couldn't. I found it in a crumbling warehouse, half submerged in water and darkness. My hands hovered over it for a moment, feeling the strange weight of energy. I had carried the artifact before. Most were quiet, inert. But this one, however, this one hummed softly, like it was alive, almost breathing. Then the noise made me freeze. Footsteps, light and careful, moved towards the warehouse. I hid behind a broken support beam, watching shadows shift across the walls. The mercs were close, just beyond the threshold. I waited, breath steady, heart loud, only to me. The storm asked my presence. Rain tapped against broken windows. Wind whistled through gaps in the walls. I inched closer, reaching. Fingers brushed it. Cold, heavy. I pulled it free. The mercs were aware now. Footsteps quickened. Voices sharp. I moved fast but silent. The zone itself seemed to conspire with me, masking my flight. I slipped through corridors, over ruined buildings, ducking through puddles, brushing past debris, feeling the cold bites of the rain and the wind. I didn't look back. Every step carried the weight of hours spent surviving, navigating the zone's preserve. I could hear them behind me, but the storm swallowed everything. The factory district opened in a muddy street. I ran towards the safe zone, the artifact secure. Not yet victorious, but alive. Now safe for the moment, I raced by a fire at a ruined wall. Rain dripped from a broken roof above. The zone was silent for the first time in what felt like hours. I held the artifact in my hand, feeling its hum, its quiet demand. The pay would be good, enough to keep me moving, keep surviving another day. But the zone, it changes people. Every mission leaves a scar. Every encounter, it teaches that life is fragile and often meaningless. And still I walk. Still, I take risks. Still, I listen to the whispers of the zone. Because someone has to. The zone, it was never quiet for a long time. But the worst part is, neither am I.